Hello students, in our last classes we have studied about Boyle's law and definition of Charles law. Right? Now let us continue the Charles law with its application. See, we have studied in Charles law, we have studied that volume of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Absolute temperature means it's a new scale or also called as Kelvin scale of a temperature. So we are going to study that one. See, volume of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to absolute temperature, means temperature expressed in Kelvin. Okay. Now let us see the application. With increase in temperature, what happens? Volume also increases. That's what the meaning of direct relationship, right? With increase in temperature, volume of a given mass of gas also increases, isn't it? So it was noticed. Charles Charles quantitatively observed this variation of volume with increase in temperature. Okay, he noticed that for every 1 degree rise in temperature, volume of a given mass of gas, volume of a given mass of gas increases by 273rd part of its volume at 0 degrees Celsius. Whatever the volume possessed by the gas at 0 degrees Celsius, in that 273rd part will increase for every 1 degree rise in temperature. Or volume of a given mass of gas, volume of a given mass of gas increases by 1 by 273 times of its volume at 0 degrees Celsius. Increases by 1 by 273 times of its volume at 0. It means the same. Volume of a given mass of gas increases by 273rd part. 273rd part of its volume at 0 degrees. It means the same. Means that can also be expressed as volume of a given mass of gas increases by 1 by 273 times of its 0 degrees volume. Suppose temperature in degree Celsius scale, and volume, corresponding volume. Suppose if you consider this variation, temperature at 0 degrees Celsius, let V naught be the volume of the given mass of gas. At 0 degrees Celsius, what's the volume of a given mass of gas? V naught. So if the temperature is increased by 1 degree Celsius, if the temperature is increased by 1 degree Celsius, volume will be increased by what amount? 273rd part of 0 degrees volume. 273rd part of 0 degrees volume. So from 0 to 1 degrees, when the temperature is increased, volume is increased by what amount? 273rd part of that 0 degrees volume. So this is the volume at 1 degree Celsius, suppose, right? Suppose the temperature is increased from 1 degrees to 2 degrees Celsius. Temperature is increased from 1 degrees to again 1 more degree is increased. For every 1 degree rise in temperature, volume increases by 273rd part. So at 1 degree Celsius, volume is V naught plus V naught by 273. In addition to this, because of this 1 degree increase in temperature, again volume increases by 273rd part of 0 degrees volume. 273rd part of 0 degrees volume means what is the volume now? V naught plus 2 V naught by 273. V naught plus 2 V naught by 273. Like if temperature increased by 1 more degree Celsius, volume will be V naught plus 3 V naught by 273. Plus 3 V naught by 273. So if we continue this explanation here, at 4 degrees Celsius, volume will be V naught plus 4 V naught by 273. 4 V naught by 273. At T degrees Celsius, some random temperature. At T degrees Celsius, volume will be V naught plus T V naught by 273. T V naught by 273, right? This can also be expressed as 273 V naught plus T. V naught by 273. That is, if you take V naught common, V naught into 273 plus T by 273. Okay. So in this way, volume of a given mass of gas at T degrees Celsius can be expressed as V final is equals to V naught into 273 plus T by 273. Suppose, let us make some small substitution. If the temperature is going on decreasing, if we go on decreasing the temperature, -1, -2, -3, -4, etc. Right? If temperature in degrees Celsius is substituted with minus 273 degrees, minus 200, in precise, actually it is minus 273.15 degrees Celsius. That is the most precise value. A rounded figure, we are taking minus 273 degrees Celsius. Okay. If temperature T degrees is replaced with minus 273, then final volume will be what? V naught into 273 plus of minus 273 means 273 by 273. 273 minus 273, 0. 0 by something. So, final volume will be 0. Means, what can we understand from this? When the temperature reaches minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, gas do not possess any value. Means what? Gas doesn't exist. Gas doesn't exist at this least possible temperature. So this is the least possible temperature, which is also called as absolute zero. This such a temperature, minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, is called as absolute zero. Okay, we have to remember this definition. Now, what is absolute zero? Means the temperature at which volume of a gas becomes zero. The temperature at which volume occupied by the gas becomes zero is called as absolute zero. Means all gas will be condensed to liquid state. That's what the meaning. Okay, in this way, Charles law also explained that absolute scale. So how to express this absolute scale? How to express this absolute scale? One. Thus, from this Charles law application, we have volume at some T degrees Celsius can be expressed as V naught, means volume at 0 degrees, plus TV naught by 273, which can also be simplified as 273 plus T into V naught by 273. This is volume of a gas at T degrees Celsius, which is with respect to direct proportionality to temperature, absolute temperature. Now, if temperature in degrees Celsius is 273 degrees Celsius, just now we discussed about minus 273, no? Now here temperature is reached plus 273 degrees. Then what will happen? If temperature is plus 273, once again I am reminding you the least possible temperature. The least possible temperature is minus 273.15 degrees. We are rounding it to 273. Okay. Now, once again, suppose if the temperature is increased to 273 degrees Celsius, then volume of the given mass of gas at 273 degrees Celsius can be expressed as 273 plus 273 into V naught by 273. It is volume of a given mass of gas at 273 degrees can be expressed as 2 V naught. What is V naught? Where V naught is volume of the gas. V naught is volume of the gas at 0 degrees Celsius. Volume of the gas at 0 degrees Celsius, right? Whose volume is getting doubled when the temperature is 273 degrees Celsius? It was a previous question for all competitive exams. Volume of a gas at 0 degrees Celsius can be doubled. At 273 degrees Celsius, or the same line can also be given as volume of a gas 0 degrees Celsius means how many Kelvin? How do you convert degrees Celsius to Kelvin? degree Celsius can be converted to Kelvin scale, by adding 273.15. Okay, so many Kelvin. Suppose if it is 0 degrees Celsius, if you add 273.15, then it is 273.15 Kelvin. If the temperature is minus 273.15 degrees Celsius, this can be converted to Kelvin scale by adding 273.15, which is 0 Kelvin. So this minus 273.15 is called as absolute zero because of this reason. So whatever the temperature given in degrees Celsius, that can be converted to Kelvin scale by adding 273.15, because minus 273.15 is the least possible temperature. So here, volume of a given mass of gas at 0 degrees. This 0 degrees, how do you express that in Kelvin scale? Add 273. Rounded values 273 instead of precise word term is 273.15, but rounded values 273. Once again, I am reminding you. So 0 degrees Celsius means how many Kelvin? Add 273. Volume of a gas at 273 Kelvin can be doubled at, convert this also into Kelvin. Add 273 to this, 546 Kelvin. So in this way, any temperature in degrees Celsius can be converted to Kelvin scale by adding 273. For 0 degrees, if you add 273, it becomes 273 Kelvin. For 273 degrees, if you add 273, it becomes 546 Kelvin. So these are the lines. Previous question from competitive exams. Volume of a gas at 273 Kelvin can be doubled at 546 Kelvin. So these are the lines and application we can get from Charles' law. Understood? So thus Charles' law had given a direct relation between volume and temperature. Now let us do some numericals from Charles' law. When it comes to a numerical from this Charles' law, on a ship sailing in Pacific Ocean where temperature is 23.4 degrees Celsius, on a ship sailing in Pacific Ocean or where temperature is 23.4 degrees Celsius. So initial temperature T1 equals to 23.4 degrees Celsius. Always you have to take the temperature in Kelvin scale. Do remember that. How do you convert degrees Celsius into Kelvin scale? So temperature in T1 Kelvin can be calculated as 23.4 plus 273. It is 296.4 Kelvin. So initial temperature is 296.4 Kelvin. Now a balloon is filled with 2 liters of air. Initial volume is 2 liters. Initial volume is 2 liters. What will be the volume of the balloon? What will be the final volume of the balloon when the ship reaches Indian Ocean? When the ship reaches Indian Ocean, where temperature is, final temperature is 26.1 degrees Celsius. Again, whenever temperature is given in degrees Celsius, we have to convert into Kelvin scale. Okay. So how to convert? Adding 273. Once again, I am reminding you, the precise value is 273.15. But we are rounding that value. Now 273 plus 26, it is 26, it is 9 and 9, 299.1 Kelvin. 299.1 Kelvin. So we are given with the initial temperature, final temperature. Initial volume is given, final volume is asked. At same pressure. Here it is not specified, but at constant pressure condition. At constant pressure condition, suppose. At constant pressure means which law must be applied? For Boyle's law, temperature should be constant, right? For pressure is maintained constant means it is Charles' law. So from Charles' law, we have what is Charles' law equation? V1 by T1 is equal to constant, which is same as V2 by T2 for a given mass of gas at constant pressure. For a given mass of gas at constant pressure, right? Now you see, substitute the values V1 by T1. So it is 2 liters by 296.4 Kelvin is equals to final volume we have to calculate, and final temperature is 299.1 Kelvin. So cancel the units, make a practice of this, because for PU board examination, each and every step sometimes will possess marks. That's why. So V2 volume in liters can be expressed as 2 liters into 299.1 by 296.4, whose value is 1.009. 2 liters into 1.009 means 2.018 liters. So final volume of the balloon. See, what will be the volume of the balloon when the ship reaches reaches a temperature zone of 26.1? Final volume of the balloon is 2.018 liters. In this way, there is a proper scheme of evaluation. So write the given data and asked data. That is step 1. What is given, what is asked. And step 2 is what's the relation between given value and asked value. Step 3 is substitution. Step 4 is final value. Every step is assigned with some marks. Suppose if this is given for 2 marks, divide them into equal parts. If it is given for 4 marks, every step has 1 mark. Suppose what is given and what is asked. First step. What's the relation between asked value and given value? Like that. Second step. For this formula, definitely we have to write the formula. Don't neglect. Third step is substitution area. And fourth step is final value. Final value, definite marks. So stepwise procedure you have to solve for board. If it is competitive exams, we can solve it in 2 seconds, 3 seconds also. Okay, we have the shortcuts. Now, so this is a numerical from Charles' law. Let us have one more numerical. So let's come to the next question. Volume of a given mass of gas is 200 ml or 200 centimeter, cubic centimeter or centimeter cube, whatever it is, at 17 degrees Celsius. What will be the volume of the gas if temperature changes to 47 degrees Celsius at the same pressure? This is another question. Right. See, volume of a given mass of gas is 200 centimeter cube. We know that 1 centimeter cube or 1 cubic centimeter is equals to 1 ml, 1 milliliter, right? So, initial volume is 200 ml. Initial temperature is 17 degrees. 17 degrees Celsius means to convert it into Kelvin scale, we have to add 273. We already studied that point. So it is 280 plus 10, 290 Kelvin. Okay. Now, what will be the volume of the gas? What will be the volume of the gas if the temperature changes to 47 degrees? When the temperature changes to 47 degrees Celsius, to convert it into Kelvin scale, add 273 to this, it will be 320 Kelvin. So always do remember that we have to convert it into Kelvin scale. Temperature must be taken in Kelvin scale unless they specify the answer in degrees Celsius. Okay. Now, at constant pressure, same pressure is maintained. So which law is to be applied? As per Charles' law. As per Charles' law, we have V1 by T1 equals to V2 by T2. We have to find V2. V2 equals to V1 T2 by T1. That equals to, what is V1? 200 ml into T2 is 320 by 290. Okay, cancel this. So 32 to 6400 by 29 liters. So on simplification, it will be 220.6 liters. So that will be the answer. So like this, we can discuss some numericals from Charles' law. Now let's come to the next gas law. So our next law is Gay-Lussac's law of partial pressures or pressure temperature relation given by Charles Gay-Lussac. Okay, from his name. Now Gay-Lussac's law of partial pressure means for this we can notice one thing. In automobile tires, we can notice in summer season with increase in temperature, we can see the increase in pressure inside the tire. Okay, it may burst also if the temperature is not maintained properly, if the pressure is not maintained properly with respect to the temperature. Right. Similarly, in cold seasons or cold places, we can see the decrease in the pressure with the decrease in temperature. So there is a direct relationship developed between pressure and temperature, according to which the pressure of a gas, pressure exerted by a gas, pressure exerted by a fixed mass of gas at constant volume is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Once again, absolute temperature means temperature expressed in Kelvin scale, right? So pressure is directly proportional to absolute temperature at constant volume condition for a given mass of gas. So pressure is equals to some proportionality constant K into absolute temperature at constant volume for a given mass of gas. So on rearranging, P by T is equals to constant at constant volume for a given mass of gas. Even we can develop some other relations like for a given mass of gas, when the P1 and T1, initial pressure and initial temperature P1 and T1 are changed to final pressure P2 and final temperature T2, then P1 by T1 can be given as P2 by T2, which is equal to constant K for a given mass of gas at constant volume condition. So even on these relations also, just like we discussed numericals on Boyle's law and Charles' law, the same way we can get numericals on these relations also. Now let us study Avogadro's law. Before going to the next law, let us discuss one or two graphs based on these parameters. Suppose if a plot is drawn between volume against absolute temperature at constant pressure. Graphs drawn at constant pressure condition are called as isobars. We already did this. Suppose these are the graphs drawn at different pressures. Suppose this is P1, P2 and P3. So once again, suppose if this constant temperature is maintained, constant temperature is considered at this particular constant temperature. So we can map volume against pressure, right? Volume against pressure. So as this is increasing volume, this is increasing temperature. So high volume corresponds to low pressure, low volume corresponds to high pressure. We discussed this point just now. So we can say that high volume corresponds to low pressure, means P2 is less than P1 less than P3. This is one question possible. This plot is for Charles' law, because Charles' law states that volume of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Similarly, so what's the direction of increase in pressures? P2 less than P1 less than P3 here. This is direction of increase in pressure. The same way, graphs or plots drawn at constant volume conditions are called as isochores. Plots drawn at constant volume condition are called as isochores. So in which gas law this volume is kept constant? At constant volume, pressure is directly proportional to absolute temperature. Gay-Lussac's law of pressure temperature relation, right? Suppose if you plot a graph between pressure against absolute temperature, then as pressure is directly proportional to absolute temperature at constant volume for a given mass of gas, Gay-Lussac's law. So it will be the plot is a straight line passing through origin. So such plots are called as what? Isochores. So the plots of Gay-Lussac's law are called as isochores. Even for this also, suppose if such plots were drawn at different volumes, this is at constant volume, right? Suppose at different volumes these plots are drawn. For example, okay, small change. So one should be very perfect in these graphs. Suppose this is at pressure against temperature, volume V1, volume V2 and volume V3. Then what's the order of these volumes? That may be another question. What will be the order? At constant temperature, suppose you consider a constant temperature. So at constant temperature, pressure and volume relation is what? Pressure is inversely proportional to volume. This is high pressure, increasing pressure. So high pressure corresponds to low volumes. Low pressure corresponds to high volumes. Low pressure corresponds to high volume. So this is high, this is low. So V1 is less than V2 less than V3. In this way, few questions are possible even for boards as well as for competitive exams. So these are the questions from plots. And one more point is one has to properly explain these graphs when it is asked. Okay, so analyze these questions, these graphs slowly and properly. Exactly, right? Now, Avogadro's law. Avogadro actually tried to generate a relationship between or correlate. Avogadro tried to correlate the observations. He tried to correlate the observations from Dalton's atomic theory. Dalton's atomic theory. Do remember, it is not an atomic model. Dalton's atomic model is wrong. It is just a theory. There is no model of atom given here. Dalton's atomic theory and Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes. Another law was there here. Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes, according to which when two or more gases combine, they always do so in simple whole number ratio of their volumes, and had given a law called as Avogadro's law. Gay-Lussac's law of combining volumes and Dalton's atomic theory observations were merged and correlation was obtained finally by the name Avogadro's law, according to which equal volumes of gases contains equal number of moles and molecules. So this is the definition. At constant pressure at a given temperature. At constant pressure at a given temperature. This law is called as, this is the definition of Avogadro's law. What does it state? Equal volumes of gases contains equal number of moles and equal number of molecules at constant pressure and at a given temperature. So two gases are there. If their volumes are equal, then obviously their number of moles and number of molecules are also will be same. So we can say, we can develop a relation here. Volume of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to its number of moles at constant pressure and at a given temperature. So V by N is equals to constant at constant pressure and at a given temperature. This law is, this is a mathematical expression for Avogadro's law. Okay, so we have learned Boyle's law as PV equal to constant. Suppose first law, no, that's why PV is equal to constant K1 at constant temperature condition. Mathematical expression for Boyle's law. Similarly, mathematical expression for Charles' law. Okay, mathematical expression for Charles' law can be given as V by T, or V is equals to proportionality constant into T at constant pressure condition. And Avogadro's law is stated as, volume of a given mass of gas is directly proportional to number of moles. V is equals to some constant into number of moles at constant pressure and at a given temperature. In between we have Gay-Lussac's law of pressure temperature relation, according to which pressure is directly proportional to temperature, K3 into T at constant volume condition. So let us take this as, so in this way we have Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law. So many gas laws were there. So the gases which do obey these laws, all these gas laws, Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law and Avogadro's law, are called as ideal gases. What are ideal gases? Which obey all gas laws. Okay, gases which obey all gas laws are called as ideal gases. And for in this particular aspect, a different concept was there, that is ideal gas equation to explain the behavior of these ideal gases. As a combination of all these gas laws, one ideal gas equation was defined, which we will discuss in our next class. Okay, so far we have finished introduction to states of matter and gas laws. We started Boyle's law, Charles' law, Gay-Lussac's law, Avogadro's law. Their combination to get ideal gas equation we are going to continue in our next session. Okay.